A new responsibility, bro.
Well, I'd say so. Alfred and I started from 3FM. He had come from Prime, right?
This was Sky.
Sky. He had come from Sky, and I come from TV Africa. We were roped in by David Max Fuga, Fred Chidi administration at the time when we started 3FM. It was without the name 3FM. It was just a frequency 92.7 coming from Channel R at the time. So we had been brought in, I had been brought in to understudy Paula Dumotri, who was doing a program called The Right Lane. At some point, Alfred did it, I did it.
So you were originally on radio?
Oh, that's where I was brought in. And then one afternoon, I think that Mr. Reinkwe, Abraham Asari, if I remember, also Group CEO Beatrice Ajman, she was then managing news editor.
Okay.
You know, I had a conversation with Mr. Reinkwe of SABC fame, Abraham Asari, who later became our general manager of news, and then Beatrice Ajman. And the conversation was that, well, I could do TV as well. I said, well, I've been doing TV on Viasat 1, on TV Africa, GH1, and on GBC as well. So, I mean, I could do that. Well, so I came on TV3 New Day in 2017 of January, from radio, having done Community Connect, what do you call it? The Right Lane program was also done. Some
a bit
other
of Sunrise,
a bit of Sunrise as well. I was doing a paper review on Sunrise back in the day with Sedem Ofori, Winston Amoa, Fred Chidi as well. So that's there. And then came on here. I was with Moon Samuel and then Bright Nana Amfo, and then Bright went on a long leave, so I had to suddenly do the paper review. Samens, you had Ricky Kasisa Pepra, Ejapa Mesa, Andrew Entry of Subing, all those people. So you had them on for some time. And then in comes, after the Moon regime comes, Crystal comes on, Etanamse comes on, Bella,
Aisha.
yourself, Aisha, Wendy, Natalie Ford. So if you will, I've been
the last baby,
like the Rolando.
Yeah,
of course,
Roland.
Martin at some point. So if you like, over the last 6 years, I've been like the opposable thumb. In it, being the constant thing. We've shown our scorecard, because I remember at the time when we came on, well, I think number 4 or so on the charts. But we had risen to number 1 that same year, and the story has been number 1 since forever. So
you have shown working.
Yes, I mean, so that's why when we ask the government to show work, because we don't take the people's taxes. We don't make promises to the people. When we make promises to the people, we keep them. So when you have a government, not just this government, but governments across, and you pay your taxes and you ask for what must be done for you, and it's not done for you, then you have a problem. So fast forward, the announcement came that I'm going on to 3FM 92.7. I've been public reactions, a lot of public reactions, and I've spent the last week and a half
answering,
engaging a psychologist actually, because I think that for every journalist who decides to take on the system, I always say that it is dangerous to be right when the government is wrong. And so if you are a journalist who wants to take on the system, you have to have strong mental fortitude. And you don't have to expect anybody to do that for you, because like people won't do it for you. So over the last week and a half, I've been engaging a psychologist, trying to psych myself up. Those who would insult you. And sometimes even have presidential staffers writing stuff. Yesterday, somebody showed me a text there. Somebody in government says, "Oh, is this character your friend?" You know, it has a tendency of getting to you. Not fear, but it has a tendency of getting to you. So you will pay a psychologist to let them deal with it, because you can't expect anybody to do that for you. If people want to do that, that's fine. But if they won't, you have to do what you have to do. So I think that I am in the right shape, in the right frame at this point. A new task has been given. We are not afraid of mountains. My father would say that if they send you to go and cut the biggest tree in the forest, you have to be spirited and go for it. It may be a hollow trunk, and you could have it easy. So we're going on to 3FM 92.7 Monday, until I'm taking over from Alfred Okansi, my
The
good
head of
brother.
news.
Yeah, head of news.
head of
Alfred Okansi. Yeah.
And Alfred,
Good morning to you.
I've just
Good morning to you.
Welcome to Sunrise on 3FM.
Now, Alfred, I've been following the messages for days now about
Yeah.
Johnny Hughes, and sometimes I get constantly DM'd,
Insulted.
insulted all the time. Sometimes they come to my WhatsApp. I don't know how they get my number, and sometimes on Facebook.
But I'm
and-
used to the insults, though. I mean,
Yeah, you are. I'm new.
I don't insult.
No.
It's not. I
No,
believe that
yeah.
you can disagree without being disagreeable.
Yeah.
I don't, and you don't have to insult anybody to feel superior.
You just develop the tough skin
Yeah.
for it.
Yeah.
So-
And I think
Honestly.
that
Yeah.
you know, I started a bit of that at GIJ. I think that every single student of journalism should be taught this, that it is dangerous to be right if the system or the government is wrong. And once you start picking the issues, they will come for you. Once they come for you, you must keep it in your mind that no form of intimidation can win. And if you know that what you're speaking is the truth, is factual, objective, credible, and balanced, fair, go for it. That's it. They have to be told this because whenever I do seminars, the questions that the youngsters ask is, "Are you not afraid?" Well, a lot of those ones, and sometimes they even shy away from, getting into the public conversation. I'll be speaking to one of UK's universities here, and that's the topic that has been built for it later in February. How they can transition from the classroom with their MPhil, their MA, their BA, onto the public sphere where they can actively participate in the conversations without necessarily being scared or afraid. So as for the insults, they will come.
Yeah.
But the questions will remain.
And Alfred, Johnny's Bites will be on TV.
Yes.
But you've been on Sunrise 3FM. And for example, I have Abdul Ghani Usana, I have Ajuake. Good morning to you, Ajuake, as well. He is an ardent follower of Johnny Hughes and also TV3 New Day. And they're all saying they want to transition to 3FM Sunrise. How did they get to Johnny Hughes after he does his Johnny's Bites and follow him on Sunrise? Do you get streamed onto 3FM, etc.?
Great. So, yes, we get streamed. We're live on 3FM 92.7 on Facebook as well. So you talk about Johnny's Bite. Johnny's Bite is going to be on both radio and television.
Okay.
So that's just for the benefit of those who are watching us, who are going to be on the go as well. You don't have to necessarily stay at home, because we got a lot of people saying they have to wait and watch
Exactly.
Johnny's Bite
Exactly.
before leaving for work. So now we're going to create other platforms where while you're on the go, you can still listen to Johnny's Bite on your radio, earpiece, or on your mobile phone while you're on your way to work. So that's another way of, as it were, expanding the tentacles of the influence of Johnny's Bite over the period. And for me, it's going to be exciting, and we'll have exciting days ahead for Sunrise on 3FM 92.7. Johnny is not new to Sunrise, as he's been saying.
Yeah.
Both of us started this journey together, sitting in for Winston Amor every now and then when he was away.
Yeah.
But eventually, when he left us over the last 2 years, I've had to hold the fort until such a time when, you see, the excitement about what is coming up in the coming weeks and months and years is who I am handing over the baton to.
Can I blow my trumpet? Please,
Yes, please.
So
It's allowed. Ajuake, Ghani, the
on
rest.
3FM,
Mike Hammond.
I can lay claim to selecting most of the signature tunes. I can lay claim to that. I can lay claim to...
Which are still being played.
Yes, the creation of Ideal Home, the Saturday morning show at the time, Sadawat and
And
all
also
of those,
Lifestyle,
structuring
the
it with
home, yes.
Abiba Odenke at the time. I can lay claim to hosting almost all the shows apart from sports. I've done every single show on 3FM.
On 3FM.
Sunrise, Urban Blend, Drive Time,
Allah.
Evening Time, High Life, Sunday, Gospel Time.
News.
So you are really Ajana
I
one,
do
Ajana two.
everything, hot edition, everything I do something.
Ajana one, Ajana two.
Everything, it did like that.
Yeah, so
You have
in
shown
fact,
working.
So as you
Yes.
do that, I think the online presence is very important. So
Very.
that people can follow, because also There are people in Tamale. Ajoake, for example, is in the eastern region. She wants to. There are people in Tamale. There are people up north who want to follow Johnny as well.
Great, and that's why it's for us. It's an exciting for us transition for what's going to be happening on Sunrise in the morning. So we're not going to be only live on radio, which is limited in terms of coverage, but for social media, it's global. So if you're watching us, you can actually log on to 3FM 92.7 on Facebook and also on Twitter and Instagram. We're live on all those platforms. And we are very, very engaging, very interactive. So while Johnny and the team are on Sunrise on 3FM 92.7, you can be engaging them, interacting. Your comments are going to be read while they come in, like real time. And that's something that we've built over time. And so for us, especially we're focused on the listeners. What Johnny is going to be doing, which is done on Johnny's Bite, is continuously reflect the views and opinions and concerns of the Ghanaian people. Because we've gotten to a time where the people are looking for someone who speaks their language. Because not everybody has access and the opportunity to sit behind the microphone or behind the camera. So when we all have the opportunity to do so, and we're able to now speak the people's language, we get the people supporting us. We get the people encouraging us, giving us the feedback, and also urging us on going forward. So for me, I'm excited about what's going to be happening and the foundation that has been laid and what has to be built on. This is something that is coming to Johnny, not new per se, but it's a full responsibility now that he's going to take on together with the team, Helen Apia, William Esiedu, and Crosby Annan as well, who are going to be on with him. So to drive this journey that we are on, and definitely we're going to win this race.
Okay. In addition to that, are there going to be other new programming related to current affairs or segments on Sunrise as well?
Well, yes.
Well, you can also play instrumental roles comprehensively. We can simulcast on TV and radio as well.
Indeed. I'm not going to be off the team as in on Sunrise. We're
Totally.
Still, yes.
Okay, great.
6 to Don Ulo, who is the head of production for Sunrise, together with Samuel and Selwyn Ofori. And for those of you asking about the social media presence, Selwyn is great, and he's doing a good job as that as well. So we're all going to be supporting from the background to make sure that the goals are reached. But I would be on 3FM.
Okay.
Johnny, you have so many messages.
So Johnny, they are telling you. So I have this one from Matthew Richinsian.
This live on Facebook.
It says
Yes.
It says well, and they have a number of things for you. Prince Anani Salasi says your first job is to take on the brouhaha in Parliament.
Yes.
Okay. That's going to be done.
And that he wants to buy airtime for you to extend from 10 minutes.
Filipino Brown. Filipino Brown says that airtime is available for you. We have Vajet Alex. We have Mike Hammer. They are happy. And San Justice.
A lot of people.
Yakubu Diadin.
I see.
They said they miss you a lot.
Give
Peter
them
Cash.
thumbs up. Give them thumbs up.
Charlie.
Yeah, they need
Charlie.
Give them
And then they can also follow your personal
Charlie,
page.
this year, there's not going to be any space for ahomaswokrasi, jkrasi, enumjakrasi, ahantankrasi, minimkrasi, ananakrasi. We're going to do full democracy unless you people run away. So big shouts to all of you. I mean, and I should say the love has been great. I mean, you cannot imagine, and I don't have the permission to mention some of their names, but you have the High and Mighty Society calling, sending text messages, asking, how are you feeling? Are you okay? What am I hearing? And I decided to tune off, as I mentioned, because I had to, because my psychologist, spoke about that, so I had to tune off. I wasn't picking calls and all, but you would read the messages that come in, and I want to say a big thank you to all those big shots, and both the high and mighty and the low and bubbly in society. I should like to also take the opportunity to say thank you to the amazing New Day team. Amazing, right from when I joined Chairman Gabi Gabriel Busumpim, he was then in charge, and then later Cyril Dogbe, Thomas Adute Papo, Felix Akoyam, Daniel Tete Oklu, in between Oliver as well, Peppo, all the camera people, the directors, Harriet particularly, and Brenda, and Danny, Mr. Abrams, Francis Botre, who's going to be with a lot. Deepest condolence. I just heard of his demise this morning, and it's really broken me, but we'll survive. All of them, Ima Huvo, Mr. Nyaku, all the team, everybody else who works on the Sunrise team. I think that collectively we were able to achieve what we achieved because of the collectivity and the teamwork that we put in place. I mean, the telepathy on air, the synergy on air, off air, Roland here, Bella there, Cookie here, Kawawa, Kelvin, all of us putting it together, the jokes and the things that we say. If we transition that onto 3FM 92.3, that's going to be the winning formula. Because we already have the template. So what we need to do is just to replicate the template and we make progress.
Well, greetings to you, Johnny. It's from Anthony Nupenu. Says,
he's watching.
Yeah, so greetings to Alfred as well. Cookie. And then says all of you are doing something great.
Anthony Nupenu, OP. I can't say the full thing on TV, but OP.
OP means what?
Prince,
it's okay. OP.
Prince,
you understand?
Prince Anani Salasi says, Oliver, show the video, don't show my face.
Of course, I mean, when
show the video.
when you're on, I mean, you have limited time, and you're on air. You want the pictures and the videos to tell the story.
Indeed.
You don't want your face telling the story. I mean, if we're talking about children, and did I hear the Minister for Education say we have schools of fame or schools of shame? The Minister for Education.
Oh, he's one great
good
guy.
friend.
Who said that? No, relax.
A good friend.
You see, the education minister.
Unless you run away.
He's one great guy.
I'm coming. I'm not doubting his greatness. I mean, he's well trained. He's a PhD holder. I like what he's doing in Busumchi with all the people he's trying to get into engineering and blah, blah, blah. I celebrate him. I've done that here a couple of times. But we can't run away from the reality that children still study with their stomachs on the ground. They sit on blocks. They don't have textbooks. Some don't have chalk. We need to be realistic. And he wants us to talk about the positives. When the negatives outweigh the positives, we will talk about the negatives too. So you speed up and show working.
Ajana 1, Ajana 2.
Where is the president's, for example,
where's your scorecard?
One mug of chocolate beverage for the children? Because you are grandfather, you can't be telling the children.
What's your personal social media handle?
My personal social media handle. It's all over the place.
Unless you people run away.
And let me quickly add this. So in 2015, when in 2015 when we joined,
I won't cut to the guy. The guy don't mind.
So in 2015,
unless you people run
in
away.
2015, there's something that was we did. We were introduced to Twitter here, and my handle on Twitter is @Hughes_on-air. I'm happy to say that between 2016 and now, I've done 170K followers. Between 2016 and now. That's showing working. Yes, scorecard. Because we do that thing. So
how many rows?
Yeah. Show working. Facebook, Johnny Hughes. Show scorecard. You know what I mean?
So Johnny, you can find
because you see, if you are a presidential staffer, for example, and you come attacking me, if you're a presidential staffer and you come attacking me, that I'm criticizing the government too much. I've showed you working with my social media. I showed you working with how much revenue we're bringing in, with what Geopol and Ipsos are saying about our ratings on air and all of that. And you are seconded to a place and you are making losses and declaring losses. You can't be, because for some of them, your private sector didn't find you ready to employ. It was because your party got into power that you got a job. How do you come and be
measuring up? You can't measure up. Tio Adai says that I love you.
I love him back.